And hello, I'm Lynn. I'm from the Friedman Diabetes Institute. We're doing some cooking today, and the theme, because it is July, we're doing some healthy summer appetizers. So I know in the summer there's a lot of barbecues, there's a lot of parties, there's always sort of a reason to celebrate something, and I wanted everyone to be able to bring something healthy to the table that tastes really good. And if you have diabetes, that's not going to bring your blood sugar way up. All right, so we're going to do a few different things today, but the first thing I'm going to do is something called Texas Caviar. Now I know that sounds a little fun, but it's probably not what you're expecting. This dish is made with lots of beans, and it has some corn, it has some really good spices, and it's actually pretty easy to make. You don't have to be a big cook to do this dish. It's a lot of canned beans and everything, and it really does taste quite awesome. Every salad needs some sort of dressing. This dressing, it's pretty easy. And again, I know in the summer you don't really want to turn the oven on, and this is really the only part of what we're going to be using the stove with today. Everything else you don't have to turn the oven on in the stove, just this dressing. So in this dressing, I have here 3/4 cup of cider vinegar. You probably could use other vinegars. I think this one tastes really well with the dish. I mean, if you wanted to use apple cider, you could use that too. I usually promote everyone cook with olive oil or canola oil. Olive oil has a stronger flavor than canola oil, so in dishes where I really want the spices to be the dominant flavors, I'm going to use the more mild canola oil. Canola and olive oil are the heart-healthy types of fats. So when used, this might look like a lot, it's actually not. It's going to cover this entire dish. I'm also going to add a few tablespoons of sugar, okay? And again, I know this probably looks like a good amount of sugar, but like I was saying, this recipe yields a lot. It yields a lot of servings. This is going to bring out a little bit of the sweetness of the corn and the beans. If you wanted to experiment with some sugar substitutes like Splenda, use the baking blend, use about half as much, maybe use a tablespoon or two. If you wanted to, you could probably omit it, but this much, again, it's really not a lot, and it's gonna really add a lot to the dish. Okay, so now I'm just gonna turn the burner up to high. And the reason why I'm boiling this, because I want the sugar to dissolve, and so once this mixture, everything is going to sort of come together. The oil, the vinegar, the sugar, it's going to pretty much become one. Like I was saying about the protein and fiber, and you're like, where did I get that from? How do I know there's fiber and protein in beans? If you actually just look at the label, and if you look at the dietary fiber on here, you're going to see about 5 grams per serving. I always promote beans over like white rice and white pasta because beans have more protein and fiber. So when you are rinsing beans, you just put it in a colander like this, and you'll see a little bit of liquid in there, and that's what you just want to rinse off because that's some extra sodium that you don't really want. So I'm going to throw in the black beans right here, all right, and this was 1 can of black beans. So 1 can of black beans that I already rinsed like I just did right there, okay? And this is 2 cans of the black-eyed peas. I wasn't a huge fan of black-eyed peas growing up, but actually in this dish, they taste so good, all right? They're really tasty. And then some pinto beans down here. Okay, so we've got all the beans. Then this corn, like I was saying, this recipe calls for about 2 ears of corn. If it's not in season, you can use 1 can of fresh corn. And to cook the corn, what I did for this, it's pretty easy. When you buy the corn, from the farm, from the stand, or from the farmer's market, you just want to shuck it, make sure you get all the silk off. You don't want to eat the silk. And then what you do is put these ears just into a pot, add a little bit of water. You can cover the pot and let it boil, let it steam for a few minutes. All right, it's actually pretty easy and it's pretty quick. And then what you do once it's cooked, just take a knife and just cut down like that, and it's going to turn in just like that. So we've got the corn right there. Okay, now you can see, we're going to move to the dressing. You can see how fast that worked. This is coming up to a boil. It's actually a rolling boil right now. That's really enough for this to get cooked and for all the ingredients to sort of marry together. So I'm actually going to pull this off the burner and let it cool. And in the meantime, you can just keep adding all the other ingredients to the dish. So here are the chilies. Again, chilies have a little bit of spice to them. You could add less, you could add more, and that's the fun of cooking. You can make it all your own. Okay, I missed a little corn in here. I don't want to do that. I love corn. So that's going to go in there. This is the jalapeños. If you wanted to use fresh, you could absolutely use fresh. They have some more flavor too, or you can get the canned ones. And with this, they're pretty spicy too, so you can use less if you wanted. All right. And then celery, this was about 2 stalks of celery that I just washed and chopped. So this is all gonna get thrown in there. Okay. This is our green pepper. And then the red pepper, we're also going to throw in. Again, all this fiber in here, it's really filling and it's not gonna have a great effect on blood sugar. So you can see, it's really a lot of good stuff in here. All right, so the final part to this, I have the dressing, it's cooled, and I'm just going to pour it right on top, okay? Just like, and then we're gonna give it one big stir just so all of the beans, all of the corn, the onions, the peppers, everything starts getting together. But this is the Texas caviar, and I hope you enjoy it.